Hey, Fletch, how's it going? What we saw from the defensive line Sunday, 8 sacks, a bunch of different guys getting to the quarterback. Do you think that can be kind of the template for what this D-line can do on a consistent basis, and what's going to take to kind of get there?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you saw like guys just flying around, getting after the quarterback, and that's something that we always talk about. We got to get to the quarterback. We got to make the quarterback feel us, hit them early, hit them often, and I think that entire game, guys got after it. Guys were in their one-on-ones. That's another thing that we all talked about and hold ourselves up to a really high expectation when it comes to winning one-on-ones. So I think as a group we did good, but I don't think we did good enough. But obviously, we didn't win the game. I think at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
John and then Paul.
Hey, Fletch. When did you kind of know during the week that you'd be able to go with the abdominal injury? And you really came on in overtime. And it was a pretty muggy day. Played a lot of snaps. Didn't affect your conditioning at all?
No, not at all. Like I say, I just listened to the training staff. Those guys. I trusted them, Tom and Ted, and Money and everybody in that training room. I trusted everybody in there. I basically lived in the training room all last week, so just trying to get myself ready to go. So I knew what kind of injury it was, and I had to be smart about it. So towards the end of the week, I was able to move around a little bit more, and woke up on Sunday and felt like I could go out and do whatever it takes to to help this team.
Paul and then Martin.
Yeah, Fletch. Now that excuse me, now that Malik and Hargrave are both healthy, have you noticed teams approaching you differently blocking wise, or are you just going to always see double teams and it's up to them to win their one-on-ones?
Well, the thing about it is Malik healthy, Grave healthy. Now I'm all banged up, so it's kind of taking away a little bit. But you know what? I'm here to fight for those guys, and and then again, I'll be okay. I'll be all right. Once I get back to myself and be good to go. But for those guys, I mean, they're doing a really good job, and the rotation is good. Everybody going good, keeping everybody fresh, and just the way teams block, they're going to do it. So, just go out again. When those guys get one-on-ones, we expect them to win.
If I could ask a follow-up real quick, Fletch, you used a 5-man line a few times on Sunday. How'd that work, and how do you like it?
Oh, that was the first time we've done that. I think we've done that, a few times. But it was this time. It was, I think, 5 defensive linemen, so it was good. That assures you that everybody had one-on-ones, and guys actually did hit the quarterback on it. So, everybody's doing a great job of doing their job, and we just got to keep pushing and getting better.
Martin, Bo, and then Dave.
Hey, Fletch. You guys obviously haven't gotten off to the start you anticipated. What's kind of like the mindset of the team? You got 3 tough games coming up, beginning with the 49ers and then Pittsburgh and Baltimore and everything. Like, how are you guys feeling going into these 3 games? I mean, you obviously feel you guys can get things turned around pretty quickly.
We just got to keep being the best team that we can be. Not worry about distractions, not worry about what's going on outside of the locker room, who's saying what. To me, it's just be the best team that we can be. And I know that. I know it's going to start tomorrow. We just got to keep prepared and keep pushing and knowing that, we're going to cross that. We're going to push it, as much as we can to get a win. Right now, basically, we're winless. So we have to do something, to turn things around, which, I always believe in this team. People always counting us out. People always say this, say that. But the guys in that locker room, man, no place I'd rather be with those guys, going out fighting with those guys every day in practice. And just preparing for our next opponent, and that's what we're doing right now.
Oh, and then Dave.
Hey, Fletch, there were a couple times after interceptions or the offense had turned the ball over on Sunday where you sort of went over and said something to Carson. What kind of things do you say to Carson when he's struggling?
I mean, he's our quarterback, and we got his back, and I let that be known. He's our quarterback, and just go over there and you just talk to him and keep him up and let him know, hey, man, we got your back. You just say strong words and you just stay positive the whole time. And just by saying little words like that, that help people. That keep their mind clear. And I just went over there and said, hey man, we got your back, buddy. Just be ready to go again. That's all. It wasn't nothing special.
Dave and then Zach.
Fletch, how do you feel coming out of the game? And you've played through injuries a bunch in your career. What have you learned about doing that? How do you have to treat your body, and how much have you progressed knowing what you can put your body through in the 9 years you've been in the league?
I think I said this like probably a couple years ago. In order for me to not play a game, you have to literally break a bone in my body where I can absolutely walk. And I'll do anything for this team, man. And I've shown it, and I go out and, if I can go, I'm going, and that is what it is. I've progressed a lot since last week. And, I'm just looking forward to, kind of staying on top of treatment, staying on top of everything I needed to do to make sure that I'm ready to roll.
Zach and then Jeff.
Hey, Fletcher, you spoke about how nobody believes in you guys and people are counting you out. Why should people believe in you right now based on the way you're playing? For those watching this and seeing this, what do you say to them? Why should they believe in you right now?
It's 53, however many guys in their locker room, that's the only group that I need to believe in us, believe in each other. That's all the guys we need, the support from the coaches, from the owners, from everybody in this building. And I think that's all the belief that we need.
We have time for two more, so we'll go Jeff and Tim.
Fletch, I think you've always considered yourself a more of a lead by example leader. But for talking to other players, there are times you pick your spots to speak up. Has there been a moment these last 3 weeks when you have felt the need to kind of say something to the team in light of the fact you guys don't have a win?
I mean, just grabbing certain guys, just grabbing. I think before the game on Saturday, I spoke to the guys and told them a few words, and I mean that's it. I think when you speak, I mean guys listen. So I grab a couple guys individually. I grab a group of guys, and I tell them, hey man, it's okay. Things will get better. And I did the same thing this morning when I got in. I saw a few guys, asked them how they was doing, and because my biggest thing for me is if I have a younger guy like Casey Toohill that's watching me every day, if I'm sitting around moping around with my head down all day and feeling sorry for myself, well, he's going to start feeling sorry for himself. Right now is no time for nobody to feel sorry for themselves. We just got to, just keep playing hard and finish a game and win a ball game.
Last question here with Tim. Tim, I think you might be on mute.
That's my bad, Fletch. I'm sorry about that. Going back to the Carson question, you've shown a lot of public support for him over the last couple of seasons in particular. What's behind that, and how's he being viewed in the locker room right now?
I support all of my teammates, and any kind of support, any kind of whatever it is, I support them. And when they're doing good, when they're struggling, and all of that, because we all we got in that locker room. We're in the building with these guys for 8 and 10 hours a day. So I feel like, you should support a guy, and him being our starting quarterback, him being one of the vocal leaders on our team, you have to support it.
Hey, Greg, it's kind of like the end of last year with all the wide receiver injuries, without knowing if Deshaun's going to be available Sunday or if Alshon will be ready. What do you make of the group that you have now? Young guys, inexperienced guys. You're kind of the most experienced wide receiver now. What's the capability of this group?
We have the same expectations. That's to go out there and make plays and just help the team win. So my message to everybody, whenever I talk to some of the young guys, is just let's go out there and control what we can control. Just run the plays to our best ability and just make plays whenever it comes to us.
Les and then Ramadi.
Hi, Greg. So Sunday you were the most productive receiver. As Rube mentioned, Deshaun's banged up. Dallas Goedert's going to be out for a while. Are you ready to step into that role if you are the top guy in that group? What do you think about that? Are you ready for that?
I have the same expectations and standards for myself every single game. We're hoping those guys play, regardless of what happens. I'm going to always be ready. I'm going to make sure that I'm on top of my game.
What do you see from Carson Wentz right now and his struggles? What do you think is going on?
I don't know about any struggles. I think we all just need to go back to the practice field and correct all the little mistakes and just detail our work.
Thank you.
And then Martin.
Hey, Greg, it seems when we watched the game the other day, you're the only receiver who's able to get a couple steps on the defenders. Is that something that you think guys can be schemed open, or is that a matter of running your route as crisply, as sharply, as detailed as possible so you can get that separation?
I honestly think it's both. It really just depends on what offense you're in. But all of our guys are capable of getting open, and we are going to get open, and we have been, and we're just going to continue to do our job at the best of our ability. I think that's the main thing as far as playing a receiver around the NFL is to get open. You know, that's what we get paid to do, and that's our job.
Martin and then Damo.
Hey, Greg. I was kind of wondering how much of an influence has Jason Avant been on you, especially, as a slot receiver? You made a couple big third down catches on Sunday as opposed to, and also a few weeks ago. So how much, has he influenced you in that regard?
He's been very big, man, especially in start of training camp. I was talking to him every day. He was showing me some things that I can do in my route. And that's definitely helped me out a lot. I've been adding those things to my game, and I'm just very thankful that he's here in the building with us, that he's able to help me.
Damo and then Jeff McLean.
Yeah, Greg, with Jalen out, with Deshaun hurt, do you sense team defenses squeezing the field a little bit on you, moving up when that speed's not out there and making it tighter in the middle of the field for you and the tight ends?
To be honest, I don't know. And that's just something that we're gonna have to see on Sunday, and we'll make adjustments and we'll be ready for it.
Jeff and then Mike.
Speaking of the defenses making it a little tighter on you guys, bubble screens have seen you guys have had trouble hitting on those. What have been some of the issues in getting the bubble screen going?
I would say that we just all need to be on the same page. We just need to do a better job of just detailing our work. And that starts in practice. And I believe we definitely would all be on the same page, and we'll communicate. And I have to do a better job of communicating and be able to make plays.
Mike and then Zach.
Hey, Greg, what's your biggest takeaway from Aaron Moorhead's coaching so far?
He's holding you accountable. He's coaching the little things, the details. And I believe that's very important in your coach. You want to make sure that every single thing is detailed. You don't want to leave anything out, and I think that's what he's doing really good right now.
Zach and then Bo.
Hey, Greg, as the top punt returner right now, what's it going to take to get something going in the return game?
Just like I said, we all need to read our keys, fight to the whistle, and just play hard, man. Just play to the whistle. I think that's for everybody. That's for me included. And I think that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have something happen soon.
Go ahead, Bo.
Hey, Greg. Doug said on Monday that, he might try to go to a little bit more tempo on the offense to sort of get things going. What do you like? What works when you guys go tempo? Why does that sometimes make things easier?
You be able to play fast. Be able to react. You're not thinking so much. You got to get lined up, get the play and execute it. And I think and the communication, and I think that's very good for us. Just to get the defense off their toes and get them on their heels.
Hey, Jake. So I guess the question is, how confident did you feel if you were given the go ahead to try the 64-yarder? Based on the fact that you made the 54-yarder, it seemed like you had plenty of room to spare.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it from a kicker's perspective, especially mine, I'm going to be confident going into every kick. I want to kick every kick, obviously. I know that's not extremely realistic. I think in that circumstance in the game, I would have loved to try it, but I understand the timing of it. There's time on the clock, a lot of risk reward there. So, like I said, confident in myself, but understand the situation.
Okay, Mike Kay and then John McMullen.
How frustrated were you in that moment after the penalty? And were you able to say anything to Matt Pryor, who kind of seemed pretty emotional after the mistake?
I didn't even really see who it was at the time, really what happened. I saw there was a flag on the field, obviously disappointed we didn't get to try it. And, in that moment, that was the end of it.
John McMullen, then Nick Fierro.
Hey, Jake, when you hit that 61-yarder against the Giants, it was going towards the other end of the field. Is there a difference for you as far as a preference with Lincoln Financial Field? I think in the past you've said maybe the wind swirls a little bit on that south end.
Yeah, that's obviously it's different every game. I would say typically that south end zone is actually better to kick into because it's a little bit more protected. There's a few more openings on the north end where the wind can kind of whip through. But like I said, it's dependent on where the wind's coming from that game, how it's bouncing off the walls. There's a lot of different variables there.
Okay, Nick Fierro, then Bo Wolf.
Hey, Jake. Coach Phipp was just talking about all the things that go into making the decision on the edge of your range and what your range might be that day. How much do you? I guess you think about it too. I mean, it's the weather, it's the elevation, it's everything else. But how much do you think about being able to set the NFL record, which I guess would be 65 yards?
I'll be honest, not a whole lot of thought goes into that. When I step out there, at the time it was just kind of, I knew we were at 59. I don't really think about where exactly we are on the field, and the record's definitely not in the back of my mind when we're going out there. But like I said earlier, I'd like to have every opportunity, obviously, but there's situational aspects of the game where you got to rely on your coaches there.
Yeah, I was really talking about in between, everyone are in downtime that you can maybe pop a 70-yarder at some point.
Obviously you'd love that chance, but like you said, there's a lot of different elements, especially when you start kicking in these stadiums, what the wind's doing, what the weather's like, obviously what there's a returner back there. There's a lot of different situations that have to line up to even get those opportunities.
Okay, Bo Wolf, and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Jake, a non-football question. We've heard that you're on the Social Justice Committee. Why did you want to join that? What has that experience been like? And, what sort of things have you learned?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I think a lot of it came from this offseason. I got to talking to Rodney quite a bit, kind of at the start of all of this. And just kind of came to the conclusion that, I'd like to stand by them and show my support as much as possible. We had a lot of very, very emotional Zoom calls during OTAs, and I think at that point, it was something I wanted to be a part of.
And what has that experience sort of been like?
It's been great. Coming together with these guys, just kind of hearing their stories, putting action plans in place, and really seeing those being executed going forward. And it's not a short-term thing. It's something that we're going to continue throughout the season, and hopefully see it build.
Zach Berman, and then Tim McManus.
Hey, Jake, in practice during the week, what's the farthest you usually attempt to kick?
We usually go out to mid-50s, high 50s, just once again, depending on what the wind's doing. We kind of play it like a game. So we'll kind of set a range there for what the normal course of a game may look like, and we'll usually hit one or two of those.
So the notion of attempting 60-plus yard field goals, is that something you do just to strengthen your leg at all, or does that only come up in these rare circumstances?
It's something that I'll go back to, whether it's pre-practice or off on my own during practice, just to kind of see it and be able to visualize that in case those situations do come up. But during the course of an actual practice, there's only so many attempts, obviously, that we get. So we're gonna use those for realistic attempts that are gonna happen more often than not.
Okay, I see two more hands raised here, so let's go Tim McManus and then Ed Kratz.
Hey, Jake, so given the field conditions on Sunday and kind of knowing yourself, what was the probability of you actually hitting a 64-yarder?
Shoot, I don't know. I don't know that question. We didn't get back that far during pregame. I think I went back to 60 pregame and called it there. But I'll say I think we had a line discussed around the 40-yard line during the game. So that was kind of the end of that. I couldn't give you an exact probability. I think if I really got a hold of one, we could have gotten it there. But once again, it's it's a lot of situational football.
Did you hit that 60-yarder?
I did, barely.
Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, can you hear me now? Coach Phipp alluded to the fact that it sounded like you guys worked out, you and Lovato and Johnston kind of worked out in the off season together. You got together to work on the mechanics of, the snap and all that. Did that happen? And how often did you do that? How often did you get together, and where did you get together?
Yeah, luckily all three of us were local in the off season. Obviously, couldn't really go anywhere, so we were kind of confined and practicing that way. But we got together probably three times a week once we started getting towards OTAs and all that stuff was happening virtually. We were able to get together about 3 times a week.
And what'd you do? Just work on your kicking and the snap and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, just going through operational stuff, field goal, punt, kickoffs, even just having an extra eye on things, working together obviously helps, and kind of carrying into this unique season where we didn't have OTAs and kind of had a strange training camp, having that extra time together to really gut out some of that stuff we usually get to in the off seasons, I think was really important.
Did you say where? Where did you get together? Was it?
Just kind of everywhere. Just a bunch of local high schools, wherever we could get on.